Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
What's up, buddy? How are things in the old Bumble Castle over there in Bumbleronto? Is that where you are, Bumblerano? I don't know. I don't know where this was going. Anyway, how are you doing?
Careening, screaming into the holidays with last-second deadlines galore.
I am kicking and screaming into the holidays myself. I was like, oh God, no, no, no.
It's funny. Some clients are like, yeah, forget it. All meetings canceled. Just it's the holidays. And then others are like, nope, we need to squeeze in as much as we can. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
At least the other ones are doing that too.
Oh boy. So. Oh boy. You work too much, dude. I think you do. Or maybe
I probably do, but
know.
I enjoy what I do, so it makes it manageable.
Yeah, although the meetings aren't really what you do, you know. You doing meetings is not like productive. Not usually, unless
can be.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like leave me alone. Let me just do my thing.
But you know what? You know what else isn't productive, Kyle?
What's that?
Being hateful on the internet.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Hate to start the show off on a downer, but apparently this is becoming an issue enough that it's being brought to our attention and it's worth flagging.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a fan of the show, that's fantastic. If you're a fan of me, that's even cooler. Thank you so much. And if you're out there, correcting the misinformation that is spread either by accident or maliciously, I appreciate you making that effort. That said, there's a right way to do that, and there's a wrong way to do that. The right way is to just cite the truth. Link to an episode, point out where the actual information is and what the correct answer is. The bad way to do it is to try to dox people, to harass people, to gang up on people, to try to cancel people or whatever they're doing. Don't stoop to their level. Take the high road, because when you do what they do, it comes back to me. Never mind that it's wrong in general. But if you're trying to do this on my behalf or on our behalf for the show, you are hurting us directly.
Mm-hmm.
There's already enough conspiratorial nonsense out there that I am somehow rallying people to do things for my will. I don't even show up on the Discord half the time, man. I don't have time to talk to people.
No.
I really do feel bad about it.
It's true.
I'm barely on the Discord ever, so I don't have the time to do this. I'm focused on work and family life. Regardless, when there are folks who are like championing me or the show and they're doing it in toxic ways, all you're doing is you're feeding fuel into that conspiracy. Okay? So we're coming into the holidays, the whole love your fellow man, at least tolerate them while it's cold type of thing. If you see someone being a jerk, just correct them if you want to, or just block and ignore. Because most of these folks need the attention to do what they do.
Yeah.
And definitely do not target or organize attacks against folks, because that's just wrong. I don't care if you feel like you're in the right. I don't care if you are in the right. That's not the way to do it civilly online. So that's Ian's reiteration of the official word. Don't be a jackass. Big neon lights. Don't do it.
Don't. Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to add as well that nobody but us represents us. So if anyone's going around trying to say they're the BumbleKast, or they know things about the BumbleKast, or they pretending to be Ian or related to the BumbleKast or something like that, they don't represent us. So no, we definitely condemn that sort of activity. And if it is happening to you, we're very sorry. If you're not a fan of Ian, you don't have to be. It doesn't matter. This is not a fan of Ian club, you know. It's well, maybe it is. Maybe it kind of is. Maybe it kind of is, but you know what I mean. Like, if you're not a fan of Ian, you don't have to. It's fine. Yes, do not go after people if they're not fans of Ian. That's okay. It's okay if they're not fans of Ian. Ian's not a perfect guy. He's not. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. All I'm just saying is don't go after people and don't try and like represent us or anything like that. That's you're doing a disservice to everybody. Don't do it. Anyway, are we ready to move on and jump into maybe some slightly lighter discussion?
Yes, let us begin our priority Q&A.
All right, here we go. Jumping in to this question to start us off from our good buddy, Scruffy Matt. We still have about a year to wait before it comes out, but I was wondering how excited you are to know that one day soon, you'll get to play a Sonic game that you wrote yourself. How does it feel to know that people all over the world will be playing this game you helped bring into being? And Kyle, how excited are you to get your hands on this upcoming game?
For me, I mean, yeah, it was exciting at the start, but then it just became a job. You know, it's the gig. There's deadlines to meet and, you know, requirements to fulfill and whatnot, which I really need to be careful not to talk about. So at this point, I don't think it's really settled in. It isn't real yet, and it's still going to be surreal once it's done. Like, if I go into a bookstore, or back in the long ago when you could go into bookstores, and you know, I'd see something that I wrote on the shelf, it's like mind blowing. Even after all this time, it's like, yeah, I did the thing and it's there. So this is going to be more of the same. It's like, it'll be out there, and every now and again it will occur to me that, yeah, I contributed to that, and there's the thing, I did the thing, I was part of the thing.
Yes. That's, I think, the cool part for me. I am looking forward to playing this game and to seeing what Ian brings to the table, as it were. And we'll have some fun with it. So I'm excited about that. I don't know how excited I am for the actual game yet, considering we know nothing about it. But hey, you know, when more comes to light, more information gets out there about what it actually is, then hey, you know, maybe I'll actually be more into the actual game too. But you know, Ian, when the game comes out, we're gonna do a playthrough of it, right? Running commentary. I'll play it. You do the commentary. That's
no. You can do it all you want. Me playing through is going to be potentially PR nightmare.
I mean, because I'll play through it. You just be there. That's not a thing we can do.
No. Okay. Because you know how this will go. If I make any kind of snarky commentary about anything, it will be taken and blown out of proportion. Ian destroys the game he worked on, blah, blah, blah. No. I have to. That's the unfun thing. I have to step away and let everyone else enjoy it.
Okay.
And no touchy.
But, fine. Then I'll play it.
That's my sacrifice. I will fall on that sword so everyone else can have a good time.
Fine. I'll play it and make fun of it.
Oh, you go nuts. You do whatever you want. You are not representative of me.
No, I'm not. I hope I'm not. Boy, I feel bad. I'm sorry for you. If you think I represent you. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is not good. This is a bad time. All right, let's move on to this one from Scurvy Pirate Dog. Dr. Eggman has had his fair share of fans over the years, like Sonic. So just for the sake of pure hilarity, Dr. Starline, Thunderbolt, and Agent Stone, the three of them open up their own Eggman fan club together. How does it go, and what kind of dynamic do they have?
Oh, it's Lord of the Flies. That thing doesn't last a week. Like, maybe Starline can connive his way into becoming the administrator of the club briefly, because he's got more of the leadership, well, maybe not qualities, more of the cutthroat desire to lead, I guess. But their individual desires to serve the great Eggman would, and be the only ones to serve the great Eggman, would tear them apart lickety split. It would be disastrous and delightful to behold, but disastrous.
Yes. I mean, keeping Thunderbolt in line alone is going to be a tough sell.
Not possible.
Nah,
Not at all.
Yeah, no. Oh no. Here's a question from Wolfsbane. So the Gen 4 remakes of Pokemon came out about a month ago to, let's say, mixed reviews. I'm wondering what your experiences are with the Pokemon games. Favorite, least favorite regions, Pokemon, leaders or champions, games, etc. And if you got to be a league champion, what would your lineups be?
Now, you've never played the games, right?
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
I'm familiar with kind of how they work, and I've played a little bit of some of them, but not much.
You have no strong Poke opinions.
No, not really.
Okay. I, as a nearly 40-year-old man, do. um,
Good, I'm glad.
the last one I played was Sun and Moon, and I enjoyed it a lot. I really liked the story of it and how they were building their own league, and that Team Skull actually had a purpose and a drive to it that you could understand and empathize with. Like all the teams previously were some brand of crazy and self-serving, and Team Skull was too, kind of, but they were the outcasts. They were the ones that society had failed, and they banded together because there literally was nowhere else to go, and that's neat, And it was candy coated enough being a Pokemon game, but it made them more interesting, and then Guzma just had style. Guy's theme song was fantastic.
The music is great, I will say. I am a bit familiar with the music, mainly through remixes and stuff. And yeah, it's good stuff.
And Lucamine, I don't mean the defanged version we got in Ultra. I mean the original, the OG Lucamine was a monster. Like the core story is kind of how her obsessions destroyed her family, and it's surprisingly dark in places. So
yeah,
I don't know. I just appreciated how they did a lot of that stuff. Diamond Pearl were my favorite, and that being said, I skipped the remake because I didn't really like what they were doing with it from a visual standpoint. I feel like if you're going to go onto a console, having, I don't know, it was weird looking at the little chibi figurine looking avatars running around and then they're full people again when battling. It's different when it's on a handheld. You understand there's shortcuts that need to be made. On the Switch, I don't know, it didn't appeal to me. And I'd already played the game once. That's not something that, to me, I have a hard time going back and replaying RPGs for the most part.
Yeah.
But Diamond and Pearl are my favorites. I never did get to play Platinum because it was by and large the same game, but with the distortion world aspect, which is really cool. I read up on that, and I freaking love Cyrus as a villain. Team Galactic, they're fine, they're all right, but Cyrus was different from all the other bosses up to that point because he was an apathetic nihilist. Like, his goal wasn't to reshape the world or be rich. It was to end everything because everything means nothing. And at the very end in Platinum, if I remember correctly, he has the option to escape from Distortion World, and he doesn't because it is a meaningless nonsense dimension, and that suits him just fine. There's no trappings, there's no precursors, there's no society or expectations. It's just a world of madness and nothing, and he's comfortable there, and that's so freaking metal, dude. All that said, Team Rocket is freaking amazing. That catchphrase, slogan, whatever you want to call it, is deeply entrenched in everyone's brain. Giovanni is such a styling mob boss, and the fact that he's a gym leader was like, mwah, I love that twist. Silver and Gold are also top ranking ones for me because it's such a cool idea for a sequel. It added new types, it added the breeding mechanic, and then after you beat the game, you get to play the original game all over again. You get to re-explore Red and Blue, except everything has shifted because time has passed. So you see all these gym leaders that you remember from before, but they all grew up. And then that fight with Red atop Mount Silver is just the moment to geek out. I don't care who you are. That's freaking cool. And it advances Giovanni's story with Silver, and just it's fun. The thing for me with Pokemon is I have to get a look at the decks first, because if I don't like the look of most of the critters, I don't really want to spend the time hunting and catching and raising them, you know? Like I skipped out on Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald because I just didn't like the look of the starters. And I'm like, I don't like any of these guys. Why do I want to pick one and play a game with them? New. And I wasn't really fond of a lot of the Hoenn stuff. That's part of the reason why I skipped on Sword and Shield too, is because there's some neat ones in there. Yamper is adorable, but I don't know. A lot of those mons just, they're not my thing, and it's all right. You don't have to play every single game. Now that I'm old enough to have children, that would be old enough to be teaching younger siblings.
Ian, are you telling me you don't like Mudkip?
Mudkip's all right. Swampert's pretty cool. Swampert's got one of the better looking.
Mudkip's one of the starters of
Mega Evolutions.
Is of Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Like, also Mudkip is legitimately one of my favorite Pokemon. I think partially because of the meme, but also because, you know, he's just kind of cute, you know? He's kind of cute. He's all right. It's not bad.
Now, the one coming out in January, Legends of Arceus or Origins, whatever all the subtitles are, the one that's set in like old Japan or old Poke Japan.
Yeah.
That I'm actually really into. That looks cool. That kind of looks like what I wish they had done with Diamond and Pearl, which is funny since it's based on the Shino region. So, but that one I'm actually going to get into because I'm really digging what they're doing with that one, or at least what they've presented so far. I mean, I was already on board, and then they showed what the new Voltorb would look like, and the whole thing is Voltorb, from what I remember, was said to have evolved to resemble a Pokeball to better hide. And since this is ye olden days and the Pokeballs are made out of wood and such, and they're like steam powered or something, the old Voltorbs look like they're carved out of wood.
I mean, that makes sense.
That's just a neat little detail. That tickles me. I like that. So, yeah, I'm excited for that one. I'm probably going to pre-order and grab and get that one. But I don't know. It's, say what you will about Pokemon, and I understand the desire of like the original fans wanting the series to grow up with them, but at the same time, part of the appeal was we got this when we were kids. It was geared right for us. So let Pokemon be for the kids. Give them that low entry level. Let them have something. And if folks my age that desperately want their big boy Pokemon, make a new game, for pity's sake. Yeah, go out there and create. If it doesn't exist, make it.
Yeah, this sounds like a similar thing that Sonic suffers from. Is the fan base wants it to grow up with them, but the company making it is like, well, this is really a property for children, so
doesn't help that Sonic's kind of waffled on that.
Well, yeah, that's
true.
Here's
a story about ancient genocide. Here's a story about a girl getting murdered in space.
That's true.
Now we're real Sonic heroes.
That's true. They went
use the super power of Teamwork.
They went real dark for a little while there, and then they swung wildly the opposite way, and that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. Oh boy. I will say that the one thing about Pokemon that I do like is there's a lot of really the cute character designs, or the cool character designs. Like, there's a lot of like cute characters and cool characters in Pokemon. Like, not Pokemon themselves, but like the characters. It's like, wow, okay. I kind of like these. There's something appealing about them, you know?
Yeah. I got on a tangent and forgot the rest of the question. In terms of champions,
Yeah.
top two are Steven and Cynthia. They both have style for miles.
Cynthia's cool, yeah.
Cynthia's theme is freaking amazing. I can't think of Steven's off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it was good too. But just like, you come up against Steven as a dude in a suit, and it's like, all right, you got some swag, but what do you do? And he's like, oh, you're all metal type. I was not prepared for this. Oops. And then Cynthia just has like a collection of murder beasts as the piano is going nuts behind you, and you were not prepared for her either.
Oh man, Marnie's theme in from Sword and Shield. That's a friggin' jam, dude. I don't know if you've heard it, but good.
I may have, but I can't.
Good stuff right there. I love that song. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the main thing. I've been like, oh, okay, all these there's a lot of cute pokey trainer ladies. That's mainly the thing.
How timely this is, because just the other day on Twitter, Ryan Jambol tweeted, what's your favorite Pokemon design? What's your least favorite? I'm like, dude, there is not enough time in the day. There's over 900 of these things, and I have an opinion on every single one of them, and that's kind of sad.
I've not seen Detective Pikachu, no, but maybe eventually I will.
Oh, you should. Okay.
I keep forgetting about it.
It is super cute. I feel like it kind of loses thread towards the end. Like, it has a nice mystery thing going on, and then it kind of falls apart. But the one thing that I wanted most out of that movie was to see what a world would look like if Pokemon and people lived side by side. What would that world actually look like? And they nailed that to a T. Wow. That was spot on. And I could not be happier with that alone. It's worth watching the movie just for that.
It definitely looked cool. It looked cool. It looked like they did a really good job of like integrating the two the real life actors and humans together with Mons. So I like it.
Like, there's just this one shot of like somebody's braviary flying up to them, and they're working one of those skyscraper set construction cranes, and their braviary like brings them the lunch that they forgot at home. And the way that the light kind of filters through its feathers as it swoops by, the fact that it lands and hands them their lunch pail or whatever, it's like, yeah, sure. If I owned a 5-foot tall freaking eagle that could bring me my lunch, I would totally do that. I don't even like braviary that much, but oh my god, dude, it just it felt like being in the Pokemon world, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Also, I would pay a ludicrous amount of money to have a real Eevee. It doesn't even have to evolve. Just give me an Eevee. I want a real Eevee.
I think a lot of people want a real Eevee. Everybody just wants a pet fox. I do like Eevee better than Pikachu, I will say.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, we're ready to move on into our next.
Yeah, we should.
Oh, wait, nope. There's one last part of that question you forgot. If you got to be a league champion, what would your lineup be?
Shoot. There's so many to pick from. It'd be tricky, but I would probably go the Cynthia route and have a nice mix of things. Don't go monotype. That's asking to be stomped on. Or, what am I talking about? Blue did it as well. Sorry, Gary, however you want to name him. But, don't go monotype, and probably go with just a handful of my favorites. Doesn't even matter if they have a good synergy with the team. Just Look at all my crazy beasties. They're over leveled. Do your best. Load up your super soaker with healing potion and pray.
Nice.
I'll even go so far as to say no legendaries in the mix, or maybe not even pseudo legendaries, just to keep things a little more realistic.
Yeah. I'll just go with all mudkips. And then probably get my floor my probably get wiped with the floor. I don't know. They won't wipe the floor with me. I'll get wiped with the floor.
Their Machamp just picks you up and starts rubbing against the floor like
they will just lift the floor up and rub it against me. Yes. Yes. All right, here we go. Andrew D has a question. In Sonic Generations, both Sonics traveled through time and fought enemies from throughout their histories. What's your headcanon as to why they didn't meet more versions of themselves during specific events? For example, where was Super Sonic during the battle with Perfect Chaos? This could have been the Night of 1,000 Sonics all over again, or something like that.
Because time was already getting cookie cuttered to oblivion and back, there weren't multiple Sonics. It was just the classic Sonic and the regular Sonic, modern Sonic, standard Sonic, OG Sonic. Well, not OG Sonic.
Besides, doing a Night of 1,000 Sonics sort of thing would be just asking for trouble legally.
Yeah.
From more than one party, probably, but still, there's just one in particular. But
my headcanon is that it was timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. Time Eater messed up everything, and what you are playing as are the Sonics that are present and still existing, and they're fixing time by going fast. Just kind of smile and nod with that one.
They're fixing time by going fast. What is this, the Flash? Although the Flash usually breaks time by going fast.
Well, that proves Sonic is the superior hero. Oh!
Uh-oh!
Fun fact for you right there.
Uh-oh! Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Flash fans are going to be real mad.
They don't listen to this show.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Here's a question from the Hobo Joe. Out of curiosity, have either of you seen the pitch the Sonic Mania devs made for a Darkwing Duck game? As crazy as it is that Sonic Mania has just been gathering dust these past years, it's such a shame Disney just ignored them since it looks just incredible.
I don't think I have.
It's funny as I don't think I have either. I don't think I've seen it.
Well,
I didn't even realize it was a thing until getting this question. But it's a shame. It's a shame that it got passed up on.
Disney letting one of their IPs languish? Heaven forbid.
No large company would ever do that, Ian. Nintendo does not have that problem. Disney does not have that problem. Heck, Sega does not have that problem. The joke is that they do have that problem. Very much so. Here's one from Happy Times. Can you talk about your experience getting to join and work on the Frontiers without giving up details on the game's story? What controls did you have in your position? Did you come up with the narrative completely, or just fill in the dialogue to suit the plots, the events made up by Sega?
I can speak on none of that. And it's driving me crazy because folks out there have made up some interesting ideas about what I do, and you're not remotely right. But I can't say anything, so we're just going to let the rumor mill churn and churn and churn and churn.
I know you have assumed control of the entire franchise, Ian. You don't have to tell me. I already know.
And what's going to be crazy, too, is that when the game actually comes out and doesn't match any of this, people are going to go, oh, they saw us speculating and changed it last second. It's like, no, we didn't.
You were just way off base.
You're chasing your own tails.
You just got worked up into thinking that your speculation was what's actually going to happen and what it's going to be about. Man,
I've already said too much.
I can't believe you killed off all the characters, Ian. How dare you?
See, I can't even defend myself against you.
I know.
I have no control over my own show.
I can say whatever I want.
Ah.
Nah, I'm over it now. I had my fun. I'm done. Here's a question from Jams, or Just a Mountain Soul. Let's talk about the big time villain and unexpected Chow enthusiast, Dr. Eggman. He's been shown to have some kind of fondness for the Chow in SA1, with his hidden Chow Island portal on his ship. In Heroes, he asked the Chaotix to collect Chow, and in Shadow, for some strange reason, he has a Chow garden in his cryptic castle base. What do you think this is? Does he just like raising them? Or has he been planning something nefariously evil with these little fairy creatures that we have yet to see? What in the world is going on with Cryptic Castle? And why does it have a giant fire pit in the middle with baby Chow surrounding it? Why is it so weird?
I'm not inclined to think that this is a fondness for Chow. I think it's a unsettling overlap, because the egg carrier Chow garden has a missile lodged in it that looks like it came in from a bad angle. If anything, it looks like he tried to bomb the Chow garden and failed. Like, maybe that gateway was just him checking to see why it didn't detonate and he never followed up on it.
Uh-oh.
In Heroes, yeah, he's telling them to collect Chow because he knows Metal Sonic is trying to get Chaos's essence, life data, whatever you want to call it. And that's why he kidnapped not cheeses with cream. That's why he kidnapped Chocola. He's trying to limit the number of Chow Metal Sonic has access to by sending the Chaotix to gather them up. And with Cryptic Castle, that wasn't his castle. He took it over. So the question is more, why are the Chow hanging out in an already haunted castle? Just that's weird. Why are they none of them dark type, for pity's sake? Like you said, it's got a fire pit in the middle and it's haunted and it's creepy. Why for? So I don't think Eggman is a Chow aficionado. I think he just happens to be around. He's always conquering places, and Chow happened to be there.
Yeah, well, apparently in a takeover, he does say, they imply that he likes them and actually raises them. But, I mean, the Twitter takeovers are probably not really canon.
Nebulously so,
Probably about as canon as Sonic Boo.
But if that is a hint at something, and I am very wrong, then I will happily rescind my answer.
Fine. And rescind your answer now. I'm kidding.
Well, no, I haven't been proven wrong yet.
Mm.
Yet being the operative word.
Let's not tempt fate here. I just like the fact that they didn't cut out Eggman saying "Yosh" when he pets a Chow in, what is it, SA2 or SA1?
Yep.
I forget.
Oh yeah.
Or is
I
it both?
usually played as Eggman because you can't accidentally hurt the Chow by jumping with Eggman.
Oh.
That, and because he would hunker down and go, "Yosh."
Yosh.
Like, that sounds so creepy, and that somehow makes it hilarious.
It is very funny, yes. Yosh. It's like you forgot to dub the line, guys. Got to change it. Oh well. It's not like those games are plagued with audio glitches and stuff anyway. Just kidding, they are. All right, here's a question from Fire Red XY. Speaking of Pokemon. A while back, Archie submitted a pitch for a Mario book, and even though you've since said you'd do something different tonally nowadays, the pitch included a basic arc covering SMB1. So my question is, if that book had been approved, how you have approached the other early games in the franchise. In particular, I'd like to know your thoughts on that Blue Bowser from Lost Levels, or SMB3 apparently being a play, if you have any.
In the Alterverse, where that book picked up and went as it was, we would probably have approached that as, the same way we were doing the Sonic books and do, semi-faithful adaptations. So we would have followed that up with the American Mario Brothers 2 with the whole dream world and wart and all that. And I wasn't aware of Mario Brothers 3 being a stage play. I don't know how common a concept that was back then. So I probably would have just treated it straight, like another adventure. Um, and that's me trying to look backwards in time and think the way I was thinking then. And this is all assuming that's the way Nintendo would let us do it. Um, which in that case really dodged a bullet there, because the hardcore Mario fans would have gone, no, it's supposed to be a stage play. And I would have gone, beg pardon? Nowadays, if we were to pick it up, I think we would do things much differently. I don't think the Sonic Mega Man model that I used would work. I think it would be better just to treat each game as its own kind of self-contained arc, and maybe do little nods between each one where it could connect. But that really depends on what Nintendo Japan would allow us to do and who the publisher is and what the scope is and blah, 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 blah. I do remember that when we were pitching the Mario book, there was some discussion that we wouldn't necessarily even be able to utilize classic games, like that they would want us to only focus on what was the new one at the time, Galaxy, I think.
Was it Galaxy? Probably around that time. Galaxy would have been
So,
in like 2009, 2010, I think.
So the idea of doing a Mario Galaxy book, just like just Galaxy, can't reference anything else Mario, would have been an interesting challenge. I don't know how engaging that would be, but that's all hearsay, and who knows how it would have gone.
It's kind of a shame it didn't happen. I'd like to have seen that, but still pretty cool. Yeah, you could have done a comic based on the Super Mario Brothers 3 cartoon. Put a little Milli Vanilli in there,
Mm.
I have a soft spot for those cartoons, even if they're not good. It's okay. I still love Mama Luigi. It's Mama Luigi to you, Mario. Here's a question from Ava Arctic. Bit of a pre-reboot spoiler for anyone that cares, but was it always intended for Sally to be the traitor of the Freedom Fighters? Looking back, those arcs felt a little confusing with a lot going on at the same time, though maybe intended that we're also meant to feel confused alongside Silver. And a friend of mine wondered if this plotline was another victim of the changes leading up to the reboot, or we're just reading too deep between the lines.
I'm pretty sure we spelled it out in an issue that was the mistake Silver made. Yeah, Sally was meant to be historically the traitor, and that over 200 years of doom and devastation, the details were lost. That she wasn't doing it of her own volition. It was because she was roboticized. I am like 99% sure we spelled that out in an issue, but now I can't tell you when or where that was, because it's been a long bloody.
Maybe you did, but they didn't see that or connect the dots. That happens sometimes.
But yeah, she was always intended to be the quote unquote traitor. You can't write a murder mystery and not know who the culprit is. That'd be sloppy. And I seem to remember we had an Easter egg that kind of told you who it was, because I think Silver had a sheet where he had like marked out certain things or circled certain.
He crossed out the other.
He crossed out the other ones or something. And just like the way that he was holding the paper from reverse, if you looked at it a certain way, it was like, here, it's obviously Sally. I don't remember quite how he did it, but
That's exactly what it was.
yeah, okay. Lee is telling me that I'm right, which is good because I feel addled. But yeah, it was always meant to be Sally, and we always wrote it that direction, and that's where we were heading with it.
Wow, cool. Here's a question from Funky Space Alien. In issue 45 of the IDW series, it's implied that Tails is a fan of Ages. I'm wondering what would be his favorite games from the developer. Would he enjoy puzzle games such as Meow Meow Spaceship? Perhaps Mean Bean Columns? Does he prefer the classic or the modern Mr. Needlemouse games? Hope he doesn't like Mr. Needlemouse 06, or else that'll be a deal breaker for me.
I'm going to say that it's the game with the rabbit in a bow tie, using all that weird, funky, psychedelic nightmare concept art from Sonic 1 that never got utilized, including the prototype Dr. Eggman in a bee suit. I have no idea what that game is, but that's his favorite.
What about the game where you play as a very Dr. Eggman in his pajamas? Like it's like really weird that he looks kind of like Dr. Eggman, but he's like in his pajamas and he's just running around and it's weird. What does he think about that game? Does he think it's weird that it's basically like it looks like Dr. Eggman in this game?
He's suspicious, but he's also kind of convinced it's just a bootleg copy of Alexander Teen. So
good point.
yeah, he'll take it for what it is.
Yeah.
Plus, he can't get anybody else to join him to do co-op on Silver Hatchet. So
I gotta get this. I got this one from our Discord chat. This one here, Mr. Tinker's Sleepy Time Adventure. I was apparently gonna say Mr. Tinky's Sleeper Time Adventure. No, that's different. That's not what I'm talking about. Mr. Tinker's Sleepy Time Adventure. Yeah.
Hey, I dig it.
Yeah.
When's the next Sage Expo coming up? There's your homework assignment, people with talent.
Mr. Tingle.
Mr. Tinker's Sleepy Time Adventure.
Yeah, Mr. Tingle's Sleepy Time Adventure. No, it's not. No, not Tingle.
No.
Not Tingle. Nothing Tingle.
None of them Kulu Limpas. Thank you very much.
You know what? Whatever. If Tingle says he's a fairy, let him be a fairy. Don't hold him down. Don't be mean to him.
I mean, he works for it. Who are we to deny his
Exactly. He works hard for it.
He made those magic words himself.
Exactly. He's magical, man. You play as him in Hyrule Warriors? Man, he's pretty crazy. He floats in on a balloon and everything, man. It's wild. Here's a question from Solaris Stain. Hey Ian, Tingle is a lemur. Lemurs are primates. Humans evolved from primates. Does that mean her and other Mobian primates are somehow related to humanity as distant genetic cousins? Were humans once Mobians? Will Mobians evolve into humans? I must know for science?
I don't know if science applies here. Perhaps mad science.
Isn't this this was a plot point in the pre-reboot era?
Yeah,
a bit of a weird one.
I mean, I kind of want to just take it in the Dragon Ball sense, in that there are just animal people in the world. Actually, no. I say that, and in Dragon Ball Kakarot, the last, story-driven Dragon Ball game to come out, apparently they wrote in that all the animal people you see around are like splicers out of Batman Beyond. They're people who took a drug that turned themselves into animals. And the reason why you don't see too many of them in Z is because the drug's not that popular anymore, or something like that. So no, I don't want that incorporated to Sonic. That's weird.
Okay.
We're going to take it in the most surface level token style and just say that there are lemurs and hedgehogs and people and wolves and rabbits and whatever, the same way that there are humans and hobbits and dwarves and elves. And I don't care what the Cimmerillion says about where they all came from. I'm just going absolute surface level. There's all these strange hominids that just coexist. They just are. Run with it.
It's fantasy. Just it's fantasy. Just calm down. All right, here's one from Madeline Blue Star 7. In episode 28 of Sonic X, while in his super form, Sonic heals Chris's injuries with his energy after Chris was bruised in the previous scene. Is healing physical injuries on others a canonical ability that Sonic has in his super form in the games and IDW comics? And would this ability depend on how severe the injury is?
I'm going to say that's not canon. Like, it showed up in that episode and never again. Like, nah.
Well, how many things are canon that have shown up in Sonic things once and never again? Like Sonic R? I don't know, man. It's weird. Sonic is weird. Maybe it was a fever dream. And our last question before we take a quick break is going to be from Hero of Light 13. And whatever chance any of them have to enjoy some downtime, what big name video game franchises do you imagine each of the main and supporting cast play as their favorites? Zelda, F-Zero, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Smash Brothers, Halo, Metal Gear, etc. Maybe even Super Mario, ironically. And yes, Sonic and Knuckles definitely need to have favorite games because they've both been depicted as being gamers before in promo art and ads, so it's totally canon. Shadow as well, since he's always got to one-up those two.
Let's see. Tails would have the perfect min-max on something like StarCraft.
I was going to say,
he'd be able to go pro.
Like a strategy game. He'd love strategy games.
Knuckles, I think, would have started off just as an arcade fighter guy, but then they opened his eyes to open world games with combat, and then that's basically just who he is anyway. Exploring and beating things up, yeah, it's his jam. And if there's any kind of open online version of that, Rouge is there primarily to grieve him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Sonic playing racing games is too easy.
It is, but it also fits.
I suppose.
I mean, they gotta be
and
arcade.
then Shadow keeps
pushing
him off the track just to grieve him.
Yes, they gotta be arcade racing games, you know. None of
Mm,
them realistic simulation.
the hard ones.
Those are no good. That's no good. Or maybe he plays
the only way you're gonna get.
Maybe he plays like games that require super fast reflexes. Maybe he likes fighting games too, or like super hard indie games like Celeste or Spelunky.
Maybe.
Yeah, where you if you're too slow, you die.
Vector is a big fan of the old Tiger LCD games because he likes the retro feel. It's not because they're cheap. It's not because it's the only thing you can afford. Of course they're great. You don't appreciate the classics.
Meanwhile, Charmy is like, this sucks. Throws them away.
No, they gave Charmy one like the same. Charmy's been playing the same one for the past 5 years. They just don't put any batteries in it, and he doesn't notice the difference.
Oh, poor Charmy. That's me.
Cream tried to explain, but they're like, no, just let him have his imagination. Just he's having fun. I realize Charmy is, I believe, canonically 5, so they gave it to him since he was a pupa, I guess, at this point. Omega's all about the shoot bangs for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He will play a racing game, but it has to be a kart racer so that he can shoot people while he's driving.
Or like Twisted Metal. Combat racer, yeah.
Until they showed him Grand Theft Auto, and then he just got lost in it.
Oh, yeah, of course. Doesn't care about the story, though. He just wants to cause mayhem and destruction everywhere he goes. And
there is a story.
No, Omega, there is no story. You just destroy things.
Big, obviously, is like a hardcore Quake player. Like, it's obscene. He can clear a map by himself.
And he does it completely silently. He doesn't say anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He just does it. He just does it, and then he just acts like Big. He doesn't even. Yeah. He just gets up, walks away, and goes fishing. Who likes dating sims?
Amy, because she likes bringing happiness to people.
Mm.
She likes finding the right pairs and bringing them together in a completely innocent sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
SBO outs himself when he agrees with her and says that he prefers this particular ship. Oh, you play those two? Ninja Vanish!
And
Jed is making fun of SBO because he overheard it until Wave points out that he plays the exact same thing.
Yes, all these characters who think they're cooler than they actually are. Speaking of which, what about Shadow?
Shadow is good at just about all of them, which is incredibly frustrating because he doesn't play them to enjoy. He plays to dominate.
Right. He plays to win.
And he doesn't really become toxic about it unless it's Sonic. Sonic he'll grief. Everyone else he just dominates.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And if you say, can you lighten up a little bit? There's some noobs on the server. He's like, they have to learn somehow. Headshot.
I like him saying headshot. He's like not even looking at the screen and just holding the controller in one hand, looking away and going headshot, boom, and they're dead.
360 no scope.
What about
there? I captured the flag. We're playing Slayer. I still captured the flag. There isn't a flag. How did you get a flag in the server? Because I'm the ultimate gamer. That's why I've platinumed everything.
Yes, of course. Keep telling yourself that, Shadow. Now everyone in the chat's like listing off characters. They want to know what everyone plays. Like Eggman, Starline, Sally.
I mean, Silver's amazed at all of these things. Back when he was growing up, all they was checkers if they had enough rocks.
Oh, ouch. I feel like Starline like really enjoys overly dramatic RPGs, but doesn't want to admit it.
Well, he would play. It's just he's busy building his own an RPG maker. That's all about Eggman conquering the world.
That's true, yeah.
But he hasn't finished writing the script yet, so give him another 7 years. He might actually try to code a little bit.
Yeah, he's got to get that opera scene in there, where he is singing to Eggman, because of course he is.
Eggman griefs on MMOs. He's got egg pawns, gold farming all the time.
Uh-huh.
He's hacked himself the highest level armor, and he just goes around player killing to be a jerk.
Challenges,
and nobody can do anything about it because he owns the server.
Yeah, he tries to 1v1 everybody, mm-hmm. And then if they accept it, he immediately destroys them. And if they don't accept it, he hacks into their account and makes them accept it.
To his credit, his ping is immaculate.
Well, of course. It's got to be if you're an evil genius with all the computing power in the world. Sally, I don't know, maybe she plays like old Game Boy games, but they're like on Nicole because Nicole is like a handheld game.
She do the old school tactical games like Gen 1 Fire Emblem and such, and actually be able to tactically handle it for all of its brutalness.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't understand why it's so off-putting to everyone else. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course not.
Guys?
No.
Right? Guys?
Yeah. Rouge doesn't play video games. She's too busy stealing stuff in real life to be stealthy in video games. Psh, whatever. Just going around stealing stuff for real. Meanwhile, Cream comes in and kills Shadow on Call of Duty. Completely destroys him constantly. Yeah. Call of Duty, Halo, whatever. Here comes Cream. Even Shadow's like... Shadow's afraid of her. It's like terrified. Like, oh God, it's her.
Rip and tear. Ciao, ciao.
Yes. It's good. All right. I think we've had enough. We've gone on long enough for this episode. We need to take a break and then come back. So we're going to do that right now. Let's go ahead and jump right back into it here with a question from Speedweed. So we remove any reason Samus arrives to Sonic's world / Mobius. We don't know why. We don't know how. Hell, we don't even know when. She just crash lands out of nowhere. Her ship is screwed up and is now interacting with the denizens of the planet. So then, how well would our quiet but kind-hearted bounty hunter get along with the likes of Whisper, Tangle, Shadow, Omega, Tails, Knuckles, and anyone else you'd feel would get an interesting reaction between her? Shoot, throw in the Freedom Fighters if you want as well. Everyone's invited. As a bonus reaction, the Luminoth. How would specifically Tangle, alongside anyone else as well, react to the fact that, yes, there are indeed alien moth monk bros out there, and they have super cool anime tier light manipulating technology?
We'll go with the last one first. Tangle would just be in awe of it. and just take it at face value. And given how well everyone else just accepted the wisps as part of life, I imagine they'd kind of roll with it too. It's like, oh, cool. You're a new alien. Are you going to try to eat us? No? All right, cool. There's the big loop-to-loop chili dog stands over there. Make yourselves at home. They seem pretty welcoming of alien life forms, truth be told. As for Samus, I think the core of that is how does she interact with others in general, which is something I would love to explore at some point. There's like one piece of art from Zero Mission, maybe. I don't remember. But she's just like at the bar chilling out with some alien thing. And she seems to be having a good time. And it's like, is that someone she knows? Is that someone she can be open with? Or is she really just gregarious? You know, can she just turn off the hunter-killer thing and go out clubbing? I'm not sure I like that idea. In one, because it seems to devalue the whole vibe of Metroid, which is the loneliness. And I feel like for someone who watched her parentage die horribly twice, be betrayed by the very government that built her up, and fusion spoilers beyond that, to have been experimented on and fused and meddled with at a genetic level multiple times over and corrupted and whatnot, that she would feel very alien in her own skin and would have a hard time being open with other people, regardless of species. It's just she isn't 100% settled with who she is outside of the basic, perform mission and daily functions. But I don't know. Given how open and welcoming the Sonic cast generally is, I feel like they could get her to open up eventually. She would be a bit reserved at first because these are superpowered animals. Her career is built around blowing up superpowered animals. But when none of them try to bite her face off at first, she gradually learns to put the safety on and lower the arm cannon. Now, when Eggman comes to ruin the day, he's in for a rude surprise.
Oh boy, yes, he is. He is.
I mean, that death egg is going to last like what, 2 shots?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah.
I think in general, maybe once she has time to realize that she is not under constant threat, that the flora and fauna of that world isn't going to eat her, that she can relax for a minute, that she acclimate and accept it and enjoy a little bit of downtime.
Yeah. It sounds like she might actually want to go clubbing and get out and go to a bar and probably get wasted just to forget about everything she's been through.
Maybe.
Maybe. But then again, you don't necessarily forget. It just kind of, you just suppress it for a little while and then it comes roaring back. Yeah. That's what we need, Samus with a drinking problem. This is getting a little too real, Nintendo. Calm down. There's a question from a PC the Unicorn. So if Santa existed in the world of Sonic, which honestly wouldn't be that surprising, what do you think various characters would ask for Christmas? Cream seems like she'd ask Santa for world peace. That or an official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle.
No,
Also,
she'll put her eye out.
Also, how angry do you think Eggman and Styx get, respectively, when Santa manages to make it past all their respective defenses to keep him out, with Eggman getting a lump of coal and Santa leaving Styx her present?
Eggman would be insulted.
Uh-huh.
Clearly.
Obviously.
I mean, what is he going to do with a lump of coal? You can't burn that for more than a minute. This is useless.
Uh-huh.
Styx would see him as kind of a worthy rival. She's come close, so close each time. Blurry photographs, footprints across the floor, cookies that were laced with sedatives, only half eaten. What kind of metabolism does this thing have? But that boomerang he brought really is nice, and the other one was kind of falling apart. And he does clean up after himself and to be fair, he's able to get down a chimney that doesn't exist in her hovel. So he's not all bad, but she'll get him one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
He knows it's a game. She knows that he's playing, and he knows that she knows, and she knows that he knows that she knows.
I miss Sticks so bad. I want her back. Please. Please come back. Come back, Sticks. What would
Knuckles is confused. Keeps showing up at his island once a year to give him a present. I mean, he could hear the tornado coming, so it's not Sonic or Tails. So who is it? He doesn't get it. What is it with the package?
Yeah.
Rouge is impressed because she actually managed to steal the sleigh one year to get all the presents, and then he managed to steal it back, and she's not quite sure how that happened. It's a little unnerving, to be honest, but hey, she's got to respect the hustle.
A healthy respect, yes.
Sonic is wondering who this Santa guy is because he's never really encountered her, and Tails is like, you don't have a house. You have nowhere for him to deliver gifts. If you just stuck around for one day, maybe you'd get something. It sounds like, yeah, but that's like a whole day.
I think he'd just leave it at Tails' workshop because he knows Tails will give it to Sonic eventually.
Yeah, but which workshop? He's got like a dozen.
Yeah, all of them.
Tails doesn't really ever ask for anything because he can build whatever he really needs. But then Santa manages to find like that one tool or the one robot piece that he needs. And Tails is like, oh, I didn't even know I needed this. Thank you, Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Jet has them patrolling the skies every Christmas, again, trying to raid Santa's sleigh in flight. It never works. Wave and Storm bust their butts, keeping the blimp going at all hours, and they wake up to a nice little present. Jet just gets coal.
Of course.
And then he takes their presents because he's a jerk. And Storm lets him because he simps for Jet. That's just how it goes.
Vector wants money so he can pay the bills. But there's no money, so it never shows up.
Eggman's a little confused when a really large present is actually in the base one time, and he opens up and there's Starline, and he just shoves it out the window.
This isn't from Santa.
No, but it's from the heart. And now it's from my window. Bah humbug. I even constructed a missile launching frog bot. I call it the Mistletoad. I don't care.
Oh man. Oh, these two. Those two. Crazy guys. All right. Let's not get too bogged down into this one. Let's move on into the next question here from Sonic. Do the Black Arm soldiers have any kind of sentient intelligence or free will? If they don't, is it possible for them to gain sentience and free will, or for them to become good?
I don't think so. I mean, they're aware enough to perform complex tasks such as, hold position, invade here, deploy stuff, plant red fruit, whatever. So they are intelligent enough, but I don't think they have an individual will, really, an individual consciousness. I think that all really falls to Black Doom. And I wouldn't think they could manifest it on their own. Otherwise, why would he have had to go to Gerald to create Shadow? If Black Doom could mold one of his critters into a fully independent agent like Shadow, why meddle with the human? Now, maybe I'm reading way too much into this, but that's how I would interpret it.
All right, here's a question from Alphamon or Yukin. Are the events of Sonic 4 episodes 1 and 2 canon to IDW? I asked this because we never truly find out what became of Little Planet since it was still stuck inside the Death Egg Mark II at the end. And I'd love to see the events of said games revisited someday, even if it is in comic form.
Yeah, you and me both. I would say Sonic 4 is as canon to the comic as it is to the games, which comes with a big old question mark. So, I don't know. If the game canon ever follows up on it and gives us a decisive answer, then sure. It's part of IDW's backlog. Why not? If it doesn't, if it kind of gets relegated to the we don't talk about this pile, then no, what are you talking about? There never was a Sonic 4.
Yeah. Here's a question from Noni. Out of curiosity, how do you rank all the end game Sonic bosses due to threat level? Also infinite too, I guess.
Top of the list is Solaris. Easy. Because both it and Time Eater can mess with space time, but Solaris is under its own will and is doing so malevolently. And that I feel like is more threatening than Time Eater, which is co piloted by the Eggman, and that immediately diminishes its threat level. That and Time Eater could be taken down by 2 Supersonics. Solaris needed 3 separate super dudes to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be able to think of every single boss robot off the top of my head, but like Perfect Dark Gaia ranks up there since it is a historical world destroyer.
Chaos ends up being kind of
tame in comparison.
Yeah, kind of weak because, only one Supersonic needed to take him down.
Yeah, but he also like wiped out the Echidnas.
Yeah, and he did decimate an entire city.
Yeah.
That somehow managed to rebuild itself almost immediately, but still, don't pay attention to that.
Like, it's not to say that Perfect Chaos isn't terribly powerful, but when you compare it to World Ender, when you have a City Ender versus a World Ender, it's different weight classes. Devil Doom, in theory, could have been a big problem since you basically have a chaos control user of that magnitude, but he was so fixated on stopping Super Shadow, it's kind of hard to say what he could have done. Metal Overlord, sadly, is small time. Sure, he's got chaos control, but he's just a big robot. He's not, nah. And kind of by that extension, Final Hazard, which I contend to still Bio Lizard, but whatever you want to call it. The biggest threat about that was that it was pulling the arc down. I mean, if they could fix the stabilizers and put it back in orbit, he's just kind of hanging there going, yeah, lasers.
That's true.
And then there's all the various egg bots at the end. There was I'm trying to remember which Rush boss it was. It might have been the first one that had like a beam sword that could literally cut through the super form. That's pretty scary.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that one's cool.
I mean, that's not Solaris level, but that's still, personally that's worse than, say, the Death Egg Robo, where if you could be supersonic in that fight, legit, it would have been a cakewalk,
Yeah.
And like Death Egg Robo 2.0 or whatever you want to call it in Doomsday Zone. The most he can do is swat Sonic away, hoping he runs out of rings.
Yeah, it's not very threatening, but man, it's such a cool moment in the game.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a great boss fight. In terms of threat level, though.
Yeah, no. There's not much to him. There's not much to him.
And I'm sure I'm forgetting something obvious, so please comment in the video below and let me know what I blatantly forgot.
Yes. Here's a question from Off. You often write longer plots, which I for one am fond of, but how far ahead do you plan out your stories? I'm aware of some other pro writers working on what they say will be long-form stories, but then admit they haven't planned anything out after the first part of the story. How much your writing is reactionary towards fan reception? For instance, Amy taking over the restoration after Knuckles chuckled back off to his island. Did you intend from the beginning for her to turn primary control over to someone else? Or was that done in response to some fans saying that was out of character for her? I'm not one of them. I loved her personal character growth during the Metal Virus arc.
In general, I plot beginning and end. For sure. I want to know where I'm going. And knowing where I start and where I have to end informs the path I take to get there. And there may be other key moments along the way that I know I want to touch upon, but with the But by contextualizing it with the beginning and end, I can look at those segments and go, okay, how does it make sense to get from point A to point B to the end? And if it doesn't work, well, take out point B. Does it really need to be part of the storyline? Or, I have my A, B, C, and it's working just fine, but there's just nothing that really connects it to the end. Well, go back to A, B, and C. What can I add to it that will make a tighter narrative? Or do I need to add a part D? Do I need to shuffle things around? How do I need to revise so that it's all one coherent thing? I am tempted at some point to do something on the side where I just kind of let the story evolve as it goes and not plan everything out to the finest minutia, because that could be fun. But overall, especially in working on somebody else's property and a product for sale, I need to know where it's going to end. In Drogoon's case, I know the ending, and how that ending ends is still being revised and whatnot, because we're still very, very, very early in the project, and not everything has been filled in. But I know where it's going to go and where the themes need to go from book one to the end, what the character arcs need to be to get from there to there, so that I'm not just flying blind. Because I feel like you can do it that way. You can roll the dice, but you would be very hard pressed, I feel, to have a fully satisfying narrative. Otherwise, you have to be very aware of everything you've done in the past and what you're doing in the present and making sure it all fits. And if it doesn't, have a convincing way to retcon or work backwards so it does all fit. Because if it's too loosey goosey, then I don't know. That's not particularly satisfying for me. It may work for other people. I don't. It depends on the project. Depends on what you're trying to do with it. I have a hard time limiting myself to just simple stories. I kind of go nuts with things. As for Amy, it was kind of up in the air. I did want her to be able to adventure with the rest of the cast and not be tied down to an administrative position. So her eventually breaking away and doing her own thing was somewhere in the cards. But the fan response was generally, we don't like this. We don't like Amy taking on this role. It's like, okay, fair enough. Then we'll just accelerate it. And, at the end of this arc, get her to that point where she can just go off and do her thing rather than see how it plays out a bit further and then maybe do it later. It was, they don't like it, then we change it, and we do. I mean, part of why she was there was out of necessity, because Sega said, have Knuckles disband the Resistance at the end of this arc and be done with it. And that's fine, but Amy's not the type of character to just leave things unfinished. There'd be a lot of people who needed help, and so that was the way for her to help the most people the best way. But she wasn't particularly geared towards it, and we played with that towards the end of the Metal Virus arc, and then decided, what, she's done with it. She can't handle it. She needs to move on. And Jewel's like, hi, I'm available for the plot, and there we go.
Perfect. Here's a question from X. So apparently, since the original idea was for Shadow to stay dead after Sonic Adventure 2, the teams in Sonic Heroes were reportedly very different, with them being Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, Amy, Cream, and Rouge, Chaos, E102, and Big, SBO, Charmy, and Vector, Fang, Bean, and Bark, and Metal Sonic, Ray, and Mighty. If plans never changed, and these were the teams used in the game, how would you think the series would feel/be like today? A Gamecast does a lot for its branding after all. Would there be a different character taking the spotlight for a divisive spin-off game with a strangely dark tone? Would E102 suddenly become a vicious killing machine? How would Chaos even be explained chilling with the main cast after SA1?
My understanding is that Shadow's death was left ambiguous after SA2, and so there was some debate with the development team of whether he survived or not, and that the teams that you listed were not set in stone in any capacity, and that to a degree that's partly fan compiled. I'm not 100% sure because it's been a while since I saw that interview. So I'm taking all of those groups with a big old grain of salt. That said, it does lend itself to some interesting possible takes. Like Rouge being on a team with Amy and Cream is just fun right there.
Oh, yeah.
But it begs the question, would she be the power type in that trio? I mean, yeah, she can go toe to toe with Knuckles. But I'm so used to thinking of her as the flying type that it's weird to think of her as the power type. But had that been the case, maybe we would have seen her kicking more butt as time went on and less of the sultry spy, I don't get involved in the story too much type, you know?
No, what if Cream is the power type?
Well, maybe because cheese, busts things up. That'd be funny. I don't know.
Or Amy, she's got a big old hammer,
Yeah, but I can't see them casting her as anything but the speed type.
Nah,
I could be wrong.
I don't think it would. I don't think it, in that sense, I don't think you could make it work. Then again, I mean, they wanted to do Metal Sonic, Ray, and Mighty for a team, that's the weirdest one to me. That feels like they were just kind of throwing things at the wall, and they're like, okay, we can't have two Sonics, so who's next? Metal Sonic? Okay, fine. We'll throw him in with Mighty and Ray. That's like,
and
that's
that
weird.
one is what makes me think it was names tossed out there and fans kind of put it together because how else would that work?
Yeah.
See, I'm not 100% sure that was actually
the only thing I could think of
team.
is if it were like a Metal Sonic that had gone rogue, like say Shard or something in a similar vein, and something in a similar vein to that. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, the Hooligans on the one hand would have been delightful if they got the Chaotix treatment, brought back after so long, given a new look and purpose and whatnot. On the other hand, it's like, what would they have turned out as? How would they have been reinterpreted? I'm overjoyed that they are in Mania, as fringe as they are, but it's like everyone was kind of on the fence about the Chaotix when they were brought back because they were so different from the classic incarnations. We've grown to love them since, but they are kind of a stark departure in some ways.
Yeah.
So it really makes me wonder how Fang being an Embark would have turned out. How different would they have been possibly? I don't know. And Chaos, Gamma, and Big, I feel like that if that was an actual group, I feel like they would have to be the gag group, the joke story. I mean, Chaos should still be around because he's in Sonic Battle, and Battle has to be canon because Emerald was in that, and General was based off of Emerald. Therefore, by Kevin Bacon rules, Chaos must be legit. Gamma, however, he blowed up real good, and Heroes predates Battle. So I don't know, maybe if they had done Chaos Gamma beforehand, but that would be really confusing because then you'd have Chaos and then Chaos Gamma, and then I'm thinking way too hard about this.
You are, yes. I mean, that's your job, but still.
But how all that would fit together into story, I haven't the foggiest. Like, Heroes' story is pretty basic. There's a lot of nuance to it that I love to mine, but the story itself, the core of it, is pretty easy to swap out for any other thing. All you need is a central boss monster for everyone to beat up on. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Alrighty. Here's this question from Pan Dolce. Since you're not the one who wrote the Chow Races and Badnik Bases arc, what's your headcanon about Dr. Starline's fluffy, oversized winter coat? Where do you think Starline got it? Did he steal it from someone else?
Starline does not steal. He is not some common thief. He procured it through cunning, illicit means. And besides, it's stylish. Why would he not want it? Like, everyone should want it. Look at it. Look at that fur trim. It's so snuggly.
You look good, Starline. You look good. I'll give you that. Nice. Nice. I'm glad you were able to get the 5-finger discount on that.
I never said whose 5 fingers were taken, though.
Oh, ouch.
I'm not a brute. I just took it. Come now. I have some class.
Keep telling yourself that, buddy. Here's a question from Saturn Flicky. The Japanese Chaotix manual gives the name Metal Sonic Kai to the upgraded blue Metal Sonic, and the big red one goes unnamed. Japanese Sonic Gems collection also labels art of the small blue version Metal Sonic Kai in the Chaotix section of the museum. Were you aware of this when writing the Encyclopedia? The Encyclopedia calls the big red version Metal Sonic Kai and the small blue version Metal Sonic. Should this be considered a mistake?
No, consider it a revision. The Encyclopedia actually has a fair bit of that, of old material being phased out for the new hotness.
I think people are getting kind of confused on that because it's like maybe there's some mistakes in there, but also, this is kind of revising things a little bit too.
A little bit, yeah. And I would love to specify more, but that's some hashtag knowing smile stuff. So consider this the fresh take on things. Metal Sonic is Metal Sonic, and one-off giant Chaos Ring powered thing is Kai.
Yeah. I've always thought the red one was Metal Sonic Kai, though. I don't know why. I never would have thought otherwise. I thought Metal Sonic Kai was the big red one. It would make
sense that you would think that Metal Sonic God would be the giant powered one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the distinction could be that this particular model of Metal Sonic has that ability to transform, so it and the red form together could have been considered Kai in the past, but right now, with Chaotix already being kind of dubiously canon anyway, it's Metal Sonic is Metal Sonic and Kai is the big guy.
Yeah. That makes more sense to me anyway. Never realized that it was supposed to be just Metal Sonic Kai, as in he's just Metal Sonic. I don't know. Chaotix is weird, man. It's not a bad game, though. I like it. Oh, that is one thing I wanted to ask you, too. Are you able to say what game you could not mention in the Encyclopedia for legal reasons?
Oh, yeah, it was Sonic Pocket Adventure for the Neo Geo Pocket.
Oh, I love that game. Kind of a shame.
Apparently, we couldn't even mention it by name. Like, it was totally off limits.
Whoa.
Which is weird.
That is weird. That doesn't make any sense at all. That's the
like I had
that team at SNK was the one that ultimately became Dimps. So
yeah, and there's arguably a classic to modern transition in that game.
Right? Yeah.
Like there was in my first draft of things, there was going to be a page devoted to it and have it listed on the timeline, but I was told, cut it entirely.
Wow. Weird. Huh.
Yep.
Well, if you guys haven't played that game, you should. It's a very fun little 2D Sonic adventure that I think a lot of people don't really check out. I think more people need to check it out. It's kind of a remake of Sonic 2-ish. It has Sonic 3's music for some reason, which is weird, but it's fun. It's a bit more along the lines of the Master System games, Game Gear games, but a bit more refined. So it's a good game. You should play it. I'm a little disappointed that it's not even acknowledged in the book.
Yeah, but that was beyond my control.
Weird. Here's a question from John B. What are some examples of character introductions that you think are perfect? The kind of introductory scenes that can make you a fan instantly. This could be from a show, movie, comic, etc. All besides Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender. That would be too easy.
Granted.
Too easy, yes.
I don't know. Everybody from Full Metal Alchemist? I mean, that book is a masterclass on storytelling, period, in every aspect. It's probably been done to death, but like Darth Vader in A New Hope.
Yeah.
Like the entire build up to the boarding of the ship, and then all the stormtroopers and all the laser fire, and then things go calm, and then just this heavily breathing shadow moves in and starts inspecting the corpses. And it's like, oh, okay.
This guy's the boss. You don't screw around with that guy.
And kind of along the same line, original live action Ninja Turtles movie, Shredder's entrance.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Everything about that is freaking amazing, from the music, from the sweeping camera angle, from the way that they have to slowly peel his cape off with the giant shoulder blades. Oh, the reverence, everything's partying and they're training and then everything stops because it's time to listen to Master Shredder. Ooh, that's good. That movie still holds up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what anyone says.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not some of the animatronic lip syncing, but everything else, good stuff.
It is very good. However, the introduction of Super Shredder was terrible. A huge letdown.
Well, they only made the one
heck?
movie, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, come on. The second one's not that bad. The second one's got some fun moments. The second one's not super terrible.
They're babies.
But there were only two. There were only two. It's true.
Also, apologies if there's noise coming through the mic. The cat is currently being very affectionate with the mic stand.
There is noise coming through it.
I do apologize, but I can't really help it. She's being insistent.
Oh well. Let's just move on to the final question then. This one is from Dove. Ian, just wondering, what do certain characters do on their day off? What does Eggman do if he's not plotting schemes? What about Starline? What does Cream the Rabbit do when she's not single-handedly saving the planet from disaster?
I mean, Eggman, we've established this. He goes back on his server and griefs people in his MMO. Starline is trying to get past his ban so he can get back on the MMO and help Eggman, even though he doesn't need it. Cream is always helping around the house. She's helping her mother. She's helping look after Chow. If they don't need help, she goes help the neighbors. If the neighbors don't need help, she goes to the next island over, sees if they need help. If they don't need help, she goes to the next coastline and starts working her way inward. Hi there, Mr. Sonic. Do you need help? Miss Rose, do you need any help? If the planet is safe, she somehow just like opens a rift in time and goes over to Blaze's world. Hello, Miss Blaze. Do you need help? If she doesn't need help, I don't know. She pops over to the Boom universe and Styx is like, who are you?
And then needs help.
Yes.
Of course.
Well, of course she needs help because Santa's not going to get away this year.
Nope.
She doesn't think it's very nice to trap Mr. Santa Claus, but she did promise to help Styx, so.
Yeah.
But then she falls asleep because, she's not allowed to stay up past her bedtime. So Styx gets distracted, tucking Cream in.
Of course.
And there she's so sweet and asleep and comfortable, and these weird maternal instincts are kicking in with Styx. She didn't even realize she had maternal instincts. And then she hears the sleigh bells and curses. He got away again.
Oh, no. Oh, that's cute. What do the other characters do on their day off? I don't know, play video games.
There's something to be said for creating a story as the show goes on, We've tied some threads together, and I have no idea where the ending is.
You just keep writing Sonic Boom plots. Just keeps happening on this show. It's such a fun concept.
Tails goes for joyrides, tornado, sea fox, something. Just explores. He has fun.
Mm-hmm.
Amy, I figure she goes hiking in a variety of ways, either just kind of like touring downtown or going to the park or maybe a little urban exploration. Just get out there to see new sights, new experiences. Mm-hmm. Knuckles doesn't have a day off. His life is work.
Of course. That's what he does.
And Sonic doesn't have a day off because he never works. Every day is the day off.
Of course. That's what makes him the opposite of Knuckles.
And the Chaotix don't take a day off because what, in this academy? Are you crazy? To be fair, we've never had a job in the past month, so every day has been a day off. It's not my point, Espio. The point is we're always on the clock. Which is why you're billing yourself. Yes! Foolproof economic plan here. We'll retire by the heat death of the universe.
You'll get there eventually, Vector. Eventually. All right. I think we've gone on way longer than we expected. So let's wrap this up, Ian.
Just like a Christmas present. And before we do, a big thank you to all 99 sponsors, either through patreon.com/BumbleKast or Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or our YouTube members. So, big thank you to Daniel H, Alex P, James K, John B, Jennifer R, Robotnik Holmes, Samuel P, Sam Cybercat, Torchbound, Mike B, Coupland, Crew 128, Duas Disdin, Diane W, Andrew D, Scruffy Matt, Dave M, Chris Ace, Lucha Cat, Off, Sony, John M, J Frost, Noni, Dawn B, Yami M, Lee HK, Jib, Lisa M, Hero of Light 13, Chevelle, Ryan D, Piggy Bank, Blue Title Gamer, Tick Tick, Final Neil, Ben Wolfsbane, Jonathan D, Invade Turbo Tunis, Rachel W, Fiona M, Godzilla Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Daddler the Dalek, Daniel B, Fire Red XY, Sonic, PC the Unicorn, Red the Supernamic, we're only halfway done, Dove, Pandolce, Carlos, Joe S, Chad, Preston M, Jennifer H, Chico D, Alphamon or Yukon, the name is X, Les, Chase L, John the Real Waluigi, Sapphire Scarletta, Ava W, Noah S, Owen BD, Deltarune Jerry, Corjiro Highwind, Nemric, Professor Rye, Red Wolf, Cameron H, Kimiko, Turbo, Callan Q, Crooker, Radry, Zandaroni the Painter, Lewis J, Just a Mountain Soul, Alex the Border Collie, For Sonic Fan, In Zephyr, Maddie H, Techno Cinema, Scott Skunk, Ty H, KGB, KJB, apologies.
That's a different thing completely.
Yes, sorry, comrade. Mox, Nathan J, Funky Space Alien, Bob J, Solar Stain, The Koi Boys, Scurvy Pirate Hawk, Happy Times, Madeline Blue Star 7, and Saturn Flicky.
Nice. Thanks, everybody, for supporting us and for checking out the show. Yeah, I remember when that list was real short. It ain't short now. It ain't short now. No, it's not. No, it's not. Oh, also, I do want to mention, if you want to join on YouTube, you now should instantly be able to access the BumbleKast Discord. So if you click that little join button on YouTube and become a channel member, it's just below the video if you're watching this on YouTube, then you can hop on in there and join our little community and ask questions and hang out. So, yeah, jump on in. Got the official Discord, YouTube Discord integration going and everything. So, hop on in.
Marvelous. That's going to wrap us up for this episode of the BumbleKast. We'll see you Wednesday for the standard Q&A and Friday for another patron-sponsored guest episode. Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Da, 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 da. So the Gen 4 remakes of Pokemon games came out, and about... Wow, I don't know what I was reading. All right, that's what I got confused. Game out instead of came out. It's a typo. I was like, what? Okay. Sorry. You all right? Uh-oh.
Excuse me.
Ian, you're not supposed to breathe your water.
Yeah, well, one of these days I'll learn.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. I have the same problem. You okay? Oh, he's muted.
Yeah,
again.
I'm fine. Just give me a second.
Okay. He'll be fine, guys. I didn't poison his water. What are you talking about? I'm not trying to usurp Ian's position. No. Not me. Couldn't be me. My job taking over Ian's job writing Sonic sounds like a terrifying prospect. You guys scare me enough as it is. I don't need you guys to be mad at me like all the time. That sounds terrifying.
Looking at the chat. The king is dead. Long live the king. Is that how it is?
I guess so. I am not the king. I don't want to be the king because the king is the one who gets blamed for everything. It's not me.
If you don't want to be king, then explain this dagger.
Oh, I don't know. I just wanted you to have it. I don't know what.
Oh, well, thank you.
I don't know. Do you need a dagger? It just doesn't seem like something you'd really need. But hey, there you go.
No, I see it emblazoned here on the hilt, the BumbleKast knife.
I'm glad you pronounced it correctly. The K, pronouncing the K is important.
Of course.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
I did absolutely no warm up.
Me,
All right.
me.
You.
Has there been an instance where we forgot to record?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we didn't forget. It's just it wasn't working.
Well, yeah. It's been a
We
while.
assumed it was working.
It's been a while, but
That's only happened like twice, I think.
yeah. An instance where I forgot to hit the record button. Yeah, at least twice.
I don't have a lot of lung range this time. That should not be as much of a workout as it is. Actually, took a singing course in college,
Yeah.
and the instructor was a professional opera singer at one point in his career. And one of the most mind-blowing notes he gave us is that you don't sing from the chest, you sing from the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Like your diaphragm control, and don't think of it as pushing air up and out. Think of yourself as pushing your stomach outward. And that's really hard to do when you're thinking about it, but
Yes.
man, does it make a difference.
Yeah, I've never been able to really do it like properly, I don't think. Then again, the last time I was doing anything regarding singing beyond like just singing as a whatever was like in elementary school choir. So
right. There's stressors to it. In my high school choir, the men's section was the three of us, and I was the only one who could carry a tune.
Oh boy.
There was one poor soul in there. He was there just for the fine arts credit. And there was just one day where the teacher said, okay, everyone else, you have a study break. You come with me. And the entire day was her playing, notes and trying to get him to match. Bing, 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 It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. He tried, though. He spent the whole half hour with everybody just kind of quietly going, ugh. So props to him.
He was at least trying beyond just getting the credit, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happens.
That was a long half hour.
Yeah, well, they don't test you before you sign up for these classes.
No. I also remember we used to hang out in the band room because the band teacher was a super chill, like jazz dude.
Yeah.
Mr. Henry, he was just great. And we found the piano tuner, and I was impressing everyone because they would play a note and then I would hit it and they would actually measure it with the tuner, and I got it each time.
Nice.
Back when I had lung capacity.
Lung capacity. I never had that. That's why I couldn't play trumpet when I was in 3rd grade or whatever. Yeah, 3rd grade.
Yeah, you absolutely need it for that.
Yeah. I wanted to play trumpet. I loved it. But I couldn't do it. Asthma is no. Asthma does not go well with instruments that require air.
Yep.
So.
All right, enough reminiscing.
Yep. Let's go.
Answer some questions.